الحمد لله رب العالمين، نحمدك اللهم سبحانك كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك. نحمدك اللهم آناء الليل وأطراف النهار معترفين بسلطانك، حامدين شاكرين لنعمائك. ندعو الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يديم علينا نعمه ظاهرة وباطنة، وأن يلهمنا العزم والعزيمة والصبر والثبات على أن نحمده على تلك النعماء، اللهم آمين. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، يحيي ويميت وهو حي لا يموت وهو على كل شيء قدير، شهادة قامت بها السماوات والأرض. أدعو الله سبحانه وتعالى ألا يحرمنا إياها لحظة لقائه، اللهم آمين. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وحبيبه، أدى الأمانة وبلغ الرسالة ونصح الأمة وكشف الغمة، وتركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. اللهم اجزه عنا خير ما تجزي به مرسلا ونبيا. اللهم شفعه فينا شفاعة لا نعذب بعدها أبدا. اللهم اسقنا من حوضه شربة لا نظمأ بعدها أبدا، اللهم أمين. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, our sons and daughters, the future of Islam, insha'Allah Rabbil Alameen. I'm sure all of us have been watching the news and know what is going on in Myanmar with the Rohingya Muslims, or the Arakan Muslims in Southeast Asia. Muslims there in thousands. Whatever is happening to them, call it whatever you want it to call it. Genocide, call it. Slaughtering, call it. Killing, call it. Forcing them to leave their homes and houses, otherwise will be burned alive, call it this way you'd like. Subhanallah Rabbil Alameen, just came to my mind, as if history repeats itself with Muslims wherever they are, whenever they are, in any location, with any population, in any country, in any nation, majority or minority. They have been going through that trial, that ibtila, that ikhtibar, that test by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for them and for the rest of the Muslims as well. Those has been killed or victimized while 1.6 billion Muslims have been just watching. Say nothing, do nothing, complain about nothing, as if nothing is happening. SubhanAllah Rabbil Alameen. I might be mistaken. Tell me about one single nation or a single leader or those who are in charge of Muslim affairs say something about what is happening and what is going on in Myanmar. Again, as I said, as if history repeats itself, 1400 years ago, what happened with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just because La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah, calling people to believe in one God and not to take any partners or associates with him, and believe that he is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is the messenger and the prophet and the seal of all prophets and messengers after him. In Mecca, 13 years, we know what happened to him. Mainly to kill him personally, to persecute and kill all of his followers in Mecca at that time, pushing them outside Mecca for 3 years, having an embargo against them, not to deal with them at all. Battle of Uhud, Battle of Badr, Battle of Al-Khandaq, all of these planning just to eradicate Islam and get rid of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if we read the history very carefully, you will find it happening periodically by the enemies of Islam. In Europe, you know what happened with the Crusaders. After the Crusaders, what happened from those imperialists? France and Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia, some parts of Africa, and the English Empire in Egypt, in Iraq. We add to the French, Syria and Lebanon. Sudan, you add it, and some other African countries have been divided, among them Portuguese, Spain, you name it, just to humiliate Muslims, just to kill Muslims, just to get rid of Muslims, just to take advantage of their land and their products and their resources in order to benefit from it, and let Muslims sometimes die out of hunger, if not died by their own hands. And recently, you know what happened in Bosnia? You know what happened in Europe? Muslims there. And recently, one nation after the other, subhanallah, Palestine, and then Iraq, and then Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, Libya, Sudan, Eritrea, Somalia, subhanallah. But now, today, as if we're speaking Arakan, and this is the beautiful name and the original name of what they call them now, the Myanmar or Rohingya Muslims, as a sect there. Who are they first? The reason I'm discussing this topic with you, first, to raise the awareness of what is going on. Second, when you discuss this matter with anyone around you, you know what the subject matter is. You know who they are, where they are living, what happened to them centuries ago, and what we should be doing. We should raise that awareness among us Muslims for a very, very simple reason. من لم يهتم بأمر المسلمين فليس منهم. Whoever does not care about Muslim affairs, he does not belong to them. He is not, she is not one of them. It means I'm totally out of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So we should care. At least the awareness to raise, to be aware of what's going on. So when anyone would have a discussion with us, or wanted to convey the message saying that we are defending our brothers and sisters in Islam who are living in that part of the world, in Arakan, we know what we're talking about. No one can mislead us or tell us something we're not aware of. And what we can do as individuals, as long as our nations, our countries, our so-called leaders of the Muslim world did not say anything, did not do anything, do not care about what is going on, we are obligated by the teaching of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to say something and do something, inshallah. And I will share with you what we can say, what we can do. But first, who are they? Where are they from? How are they persecuted? How many of them have fled their own country already and went where? What does the international community say? And what we can do? Who are they? Being known as the world's most persecuted minority. They are. No comparison. And I'm sure when you watch the news and you see what is happening to them, what is going on, subhanallah, it cannot be comprehended. They are ethnic Muslim group who have lived for centuries in the majority of Buddhist Myanmar. It is a Buddhist country. When I say a Buddhist and Buddhism, my idea I had earlier, they are kind people, decent people calling for some humanitarian causes and so on and so forth. Subhanallah, you know, good people. And even wallahi, and let me share this with you frankly, when we were looking for a place for us to replace Masjid al-Ikhlas in North Minneapolis, because it wasn't enough for us to accommodate for all of us. When I saw this place, dragons coming out of it by the main entrance as a Buddhist temple of a group of Laos people. Wallahi, you can't imagine how much of a dua and a supplication to Allah. Ya Allah, help us to have this as a place for Muslims. No idea whatsoever this place is going to be for sale. And for years, I'm watching. Till it was for sale, I said, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. From Buddhists, when I dealt with them, nice people, maybe they are living in here for so many years, they are not back home. But I never thought that they would be those kind of people who have been persecuting Muslims in that Arakan, in that their homeland, in millions for so many years, with that brutality, with that inhumane ways. And I'm sure you have watched the news and you know what is going on, the children before adults and elders before adults. What's happening and what's going on there. They lived in that Western coastal state there and not allowed to leave without a government permission. Why? Because they are minority. Just a couple of million compared to 50 million have been living there. Muslims have lived there in this area for centuries, as I have mentioned, back to the 12th century. talking about 1100. Yani years and years and years and years they were established. Because of the da'wah of Rasulullah, Rasuluka wa Nabiyuka wa Habibuka has reached to that area. So Muslims there, people there embrace Islam and live in a very peaceful way, preaching the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the 12th century there. But of course, as another part of the world, it was occupied by the British occupation. And as we all know, they never occupy any piece of land or any country or any nation. Even when they leave, before they leave, the elements of corruption, the elements of persecution, the elements of humiliating people there. The British have been claiming that they are the best nation ever, where they are the worst, wallahi the worst. And read the history very carefully. What they did in Egypt, what they did in Palestine, what they did in this area there, what they did everywhere. The worst human being ever. The worst human being ever. Along with the others who have been leading that way of being the worst enemies of Muslims and Islam. The worst ever. Read their history very carefully and you'd know who they are. Persecution, crackdowns on Muslims there forced hundreds of thousands to flee to their neighboring states like Bangladesh, as well as Malaysia, Thailand, and other Southeast Asian countries. During each and every single crackdowns on them, refugees have often reported rape, torture, arson, murder by those group of people there, claiming they are one of the best humanitarian people with the Buddhist. We should not blame them. If there is anyone to be blamed, it is us, Muslims, who allowed this happening to us, who accepted this happening to us, who do nothing against what is happening to us. Tell me about one country or one nation or one so-called leader say something about what is going on there. Nothing. How many of them have fled their own country so far? According to the most recently available data from the United Nations in May, more than 168,000 of them have fled since 2012. Following violence that broke out last year, more than 87,000 of them fled to Bangladesh from October 2016 to July 2017, according to the International Organization of Migration. British violence forces 18,000 of them to cross to Bangladesh again. Allah, when I'm thinking about what happened to Muslims early on, of the Tatar and the Mughal, when they came from East Asia invading the whole Muslim world at that time, no one could resist, no one could stand before them, no one could say anything. except the ulama, the scholars of Islam, the ulama, scholars of Islam, like Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, and Al-Izz ibn Abd salam rahimahullah. When they were invading any part of the Muslim world, there was no even fighting. They come, demolish everything in front of them, occupy that piece of land, and keep going on and on and on. If they find a group of Muslims sitting there or standing there or waiting for them, no resistance whatsoever, you know what the Tatar and the Mughal would tell them? Stay here, don't move, don't do anything. We'll go and find some other group, we'll come back to kill you. You hear what we're saying? And they would say, yes. And they keep moving. On and on and on and on and on. The ulama of Ummah at that time, the scholars of Ummah at that time, were the only ones to resist the Mughal and the Tatar, encouraging Muslims to resist, encouraging Muslims to fight back, encouraging Muslims to defend their own freedom and their own dignity and their own people, their own children, their own elders, the ulama of Islam. And today I'm saying, where are the ulama of Islam? What they are saying, what they are doing. The victory, the defeat against the Mughal and Tatar came from the ulama, believing that mata nasrullah. Where is the victory of Allah, as Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, surrounded by the Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in, digging that trench there, waiting for the Confederates from all over Arabia to come and fight them, to defend themselves. No food to eat, no water to drink. All of them, including Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, waiting to be victorious by Allah. Yet some of the Sahaba are asking, Mata Nasrullah? This is the Quran. When is the victory of Allah, Ya Rasulullah? And the answer came immediately to them, Ala inna Nasrallahi qareeb. Definitely, certainly, without any doubt, the victory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is near us. But how far it is, Allah did not say. When it's gonna come, Allah did not say. But it is definitely, certainly, without any doubt, it is near, it is coming. And it happened to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We're saying the same thing today. Mata Nasrullah, Ala inna Nasrallahi qareeb. Under one condition, that Nasr, that victory will be near to us if we are at the level of the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of Iman and faith and believing in the victory of Allah. If you are at their level, Nasr is coming, victory is coming, inshallah. And I'm not sure what level we are in. I'm talking about us, average Muslims. Not talking about any so-called leaders. No, I don't care about them. I don't mind them, but I do mind Muslims everywhere like you. Mata Nasrullah, Ala inna Nasrullahi qareeb. Ala inna Nasrullahi qareeb. Don't give up, wallahi. Don't live in that despair kind of thing. Look at what's happening to them. Look at what is going on to them. Yes, so far, 4,000 have already fled their country to India. 6,025 have already fled to Bangladesh. 350,000 to Pakistan. 10,000 United Arab Emirates. 200,000 Saudi Arabia. 140, God knows where they went. Everywhere. Muslim, leaving their hometown, their homeland, their country they established, back to the 12th century. Everywhere they are, though some other countries are saying that, no, I have no room for you. We're taking care of others. We're taking care of some refugees from Syria, from Iraq, from Somalia, from Eritrea, from Sudan, from African countries, from somewhere else. We have more than enough. We cannot even feed our own people. How are we going to feed you? While billions and billions of money, of Muslim money, have been given a gift to one of the richest country ever. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking politics in here, wallahi. I'm sharing with you the facts. Billions. 360 billion as one gift from one country to one nation, to one president. While your brothers and sisters have been persecuted, killed. لازلنا في رحاب المصطفى البر لا يبلى والذنب لا ينسى والديان لا يموت كل ابن آدم خطاء وخير الخطائين التوابون والتائب من الذنب كمن لا ذنب له ادعوا الله وأنتم موقنون بالإجابة. A special dua for our dear brothers and sisters in Arakan, inshallah. الحمد لله وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأصلي وأسلم على رسول الله صلاة وتسليما يليقان بالحبيب المصطفى النبي المجتبى صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وتابعيه وتابعي تابعيه إلى يوم الدين. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, question is, here in Majl Al-Iman with you, a true believers, inshallah Rabbil Alameen, what can we do? First, keep in mind, as I mentioned before, هذا هو ابتلاء, اختبار, a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like it or not, take it as is. It is ibtila. And you either succeed, you either pass this test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or fail it, but I'm sure, and I may ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all of us here and everywhere, inshallah, to pass this test. Mainly because we believe وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ. And certainly we shall test you with something of fear, hunger, loss of wealth, lives and fruits. Isn't it what is going on? Allah, exactly. Happened today, would happen tomorrow, happened years and years back, it happened centuries back, exactly the same laws of the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. هذه سنن الله وقوانين الله في خلقه. ابتلاء. لتبلون في أموالكم وأنفسكم. You'll be tested always, always, always in your wealth and your money and in yourself. And this is what's going on. But look at the rest of the ayah. Hear the rest of the ayah. وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Give glad tidings to as-sabirin, the patient. Are we patient? Or we will give up? Ya Allah, we're done, we're gone. It's our turn. Our turn. We never know what might happen to us in here in this country, wallahi. No. وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Be patient, and patient enough. And patient means that we have the absolute belief in Allah will be victorious. Part of being patient. الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَبَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. This is the definition of as-sabirin here. Who, when afflicted with calamity, say truly, to Allah we belong, and truly to Him we shall return. Don't claim that I belong to this nation, or that country, or I'm a citizen of this and that. La wallahi. Inna lillahi. your affiliation absolutely to Allah, first and foremost. Inna lillahi in this dunya. Wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We'll go back to Him. We'll never go anywhere. When we die, tell me if someone is reserving somewhere to be in his death or her death, let me know in order to join him or her. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. But what also, Ya Allah, you have for those sabirin? أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. They are those in whom are the salawat, are blessed and will be forgiven from their Lord. They are those who receive His mercy. Ya Allah, all of these for us when we are sabirun? Yes. 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 Blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be showering us. The mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be showering us. And the hidayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be to us. And the forgiving of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be granted to us, inshaAllah Rabbil Alameen. If we believe in this. And you'll see the victory there, inshaAllah. Some people will say, well, I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota. What can I do with those guys there in Eastern Asia there? Wallahi, you are part of that ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is the first thing we have to keep in mind. Second, I'm not sure whether all of you are aware of what I will be saying or not, but anyhow, I'll share it with you. Their Prime Minister, Aung San Suu Kyi, that's her name. She is the recipient of Nobel Prize. For what? Defending the human rights of her own people and people all over the world. This is their Prime Minister, who has been today, as if we're speaking, managing and directing the killing and persecuting and humiliating and kicking out all Muslims from their land. Ya Allah. A recipient of Nobel Prize defending human rights, and in the meantime killing and persecuting and humiliating Muslims. Well, maybe I lost my mind and it doesn't add up to me. Does it add up to you? Answer me, wallah. Does it add up to you? Does it add up to you? The least we can ask for, confiscate her Nobel Prize from her. The least, if we have justice in this world. Don't have double standard. Give a Nobel Prize in order for you to enjoy, but in the meantime, kill Muslims. Nobel Prize to kill Muslims, to persecute Muslims, to humiliate Muslims.